Hey guys, this is my vlog about vloggers and other YouTubers. So I became interested in researching the effect that YouTubers have on kids after I watched a little bit of Shane Dawson's video series on Jake Paul. I can't stand Jake Paul like most other people, and I honestly thought that he and Logan Paul were the same person until a few days ago. But I decided to watch the last episode of this series just to see what all the hype was about. The part that really caught my interest was when Shane confronted him about how much he promotes his merch when he knows that the majority of his audience are young kids. People have been accusing him of manipulating and even brainwashing kids into buying his stuff. I don't think Shane was tough enough on him about this, but I can rant about that at another time. So this got me questioning how much YouTubers really do influence kids, and is that a good thing or a bad thing? So I conducted lots of research, and a lot of it actually surprised me. So when I gather all of it and look at it as one big picture, I've concluded that YouTube and YouTubers have a really big influence on their young viewers, which is why parents should always be monitoring what their young kids are watching. To begin, I have to talk about how YouTube and YouTube culture is constantly changing. Lavaveshkul wrote an article in 2012, which was only 6 years ago, but a lot of the information that she put in her article is outdated and irrelevant when it comes to YouTube today. For instance, she has a section on YouTube success stories, and her examples are Cody Simpson, Esme Denters, Grayson Chance, and Charisse. All of these people did have a little bit of success, but none of them are very relevant or popular today. Plus, their peak is nothing like YouTubers' peaks today. If it was written today, the list might include Troye Sivan, who sells out huge arenas and travels the world singing, or Guava Juice, who has his own toy line sold in stores all over the country, or Marcus Brownlee, who has been recognized by the Senior Vice President of Google as the best technology reviewer on the planet right now, or Jeffree Star, who has a multi-million-dollar makeup company and distribution center. One person the author talks about who's very relevant today is Justin Bieber. If you ask me, he's probably the ultimate YouTube success story. Lavaveshkul also provides stats on the top 10 YouTubers of 2012 and what their demographics are like. For most of the top 10 channels, the high majority of their viewers were male from ages 13 to 34. This has also changed dramatically. According to Forbes, 91% of people aged 18 to 29 watch YouTube. It's also pretty even spread among men and women now, with 72% of women and 75% of men being YouTube users. Furthermore, a study from 2006 shows that more than 50% of YouTube's audience is female now. This is because there's so many other genres of videos now, including beauty and makeup videos, that are very popular with a female audience that YouTube didn't have 6 years ago. And all of these changes have happened in only 6 years. 6 years! YouTube is huge, and it's only getting bigger, and it's only reaching to more people, and that means more changes are to come. Now, one of the biggest changes, in my opinion, when it comes to YouTube culture is its appeal to young children and even infants. My fiance's younger sisters, my baby cousin, my niece, they're all obsessed with YouTube. My baby cousin won't even take a nap if YouTube isn't playing. This has always fascinated me, but I never really had any information on it, and even when I was doing research, it was hard to find hard statistics on it because it is so new. I think in maybe a couple more years, we will have this information. Something about YouTube culture that makes it stand out that doesn't really exist anywhere else is the concept of microcelebrity. Anne Jerslev wrote an article in 2016 about microcelebrities, and she does this by focusing on the YouTuber Zoella. Zoella, whose real name is Zoe Sugg, is a YouTuber from the UK who is one of the very first people who gained a lot of fame from YouTube. Many of her fans are girls younger than the age of 17. Jerslev notes that Zoella has been called the most famous woman in Britain you've never heard of. And that's basically what Microcelebrity is. It's someone who's very well known and very beloved within a very specific culture, and not very well known anywhere outside of that. They gain popularity and success by self-branding and self-promoting, and by presenting an authentic and intimate self in front of a camera. Because of this, their audience feels like they have a more intimate and personal relationship than they do with actors or singers or professional athletes. It feels more like a friendship. Therefore, when a YouTuber's authenticity is questioned or flat out demolished, their whole basis of what made them successful falls apart. So when it comes to Zoella, back in 2014, she published her first novel, and it was later revealed that she had a ghostwriter. She received a huge amount of backlash from this, and her fans felt betrayed. It was like a close friend who had been lying to them. She had to basically attempt to rekindle her relationship with her fans by dedicating more time to making YouTube videos and presenting herself as authentic. Because with micro-celebrities and YouTubers, authenticity and trustworthiness are valued more than anything else. And this is just not the case with regular celebrities. Kids don't think that an actor is who they play in a movie or a show, and they don't expect them to be that either. With YouTubers, kids really believe that they are who they present in front of the camera. They believe that this is what they're like all the time, and that can be super powerful because kids really look up to YouTubers and they really just want to be like them. An article called The Value of Fame, Preadolescent Perceptions of Popular Media and Their Relationship to Future Aspirations was published in Developmental Psychology in 2012. That was a lot of words. But it discusses a study on kids aged 10 to 12 years old aspiring to be famous. Since this was written in 2012, the authors talk about the shows Hannah Montana, iCarly, and American Idol, and how these shows make fame seem very realistic and obtainable to children. They're about regular people and regular kids who are also famous at the same time. These shows obviously aren't on air anymore, but there's still current shows that are very similar. For example, Austin and Ally was about two famous musicians and their friends. And Bizarre Vark, which is still on now, which also had Jake Paul in it, is about famous vloggers. And they're sending the same message about fame. It makes kids think that anyone can be famous if they want it enough. The British website Metro discusses a more recent study that was actually done this year about what elementary school children aspire to do. They found that social media and gaming was the fourth most popular career choice. Down at 9th and 13th were singer or musician and actor or actress. And that's just crazy. YouTube and other social media platforms have surpassed actors and singers by a lot, and that is a very big change. This just shows how much kids really look up to YouTubers and how they really do just want to be like them. So to sum up what we've talked about so far, we've touched upon how much YouTube has changed in the past 6 years and how it's going to continue to change. We've talked about YouTube culture and how people, including kids, have different expectations of YouTubers, and they feel like they have a closer connection to these people than with regular celebrities. And finally, we talked about how kids look up to YouTubers and want to become YouTubers themselves and become famous. But now I'm going to shift a little bit and focus on infants and toddlers. So what scares me the most about YouTube and young children is how young they're starting to watch it now. An article called YouTubers and Diapers, an exploration of factors associated with the amount of toddlers online viewing, describes a study with 289 parents and toddlers, And the results found that more than half of the toddlers watched online content on a normal day. They also found that babies and toddlers are watching YouTube and Netflix more than television, and that online viewing is starting very, very early, even before the baby starts to walk. The authors of this article explained that YouTube is so popular and easy for toddlers to use because of its simple interface. They can find videos very easily. They can just tap on a thumbnail that looks interesting to them and they can watch it. And because of that, they don't need their parents to help them use the app or website, and they can do it on their own. Challenges, silly skits, and unboxing videos are some of the most popular genres that attract young children. Yes, kids like to watch people open toys and then play with it. I don't get it, but anyway. The downside to YouTube gaining popularity with infants and toddlers is that they're being bombarded with advertisements in each video, and they can easily be led to inappropriate or disturbing content. One type of video that I know of that became pretty big recently are the weird Elsa and Spider-Man videos. It's basically fan fiction in video form, and it's really easy for kids to find them. All they have to do is look up Spider-Man or Elsa or Frozen, and they can come up. Another similar kind of video is when channels will do their own animations with the characters from kid shows with just really dark themes or violence. If you've never seen one before, here's a little clip with Frozen as an example.
I'm sleepy. Ugh.
Anastasia, we're almost there at the castle. Wait a minute.
Okay, Mom. Ugh.
Where's Anastasia?
So if you're not fully paying attention to what they're watching, it looks like they're watching just any other kid video, but they're not. I'm telling you, it's bizarre. But I can't act like all YouTube is horrible for toddlers and infants, because it's just not. One channel that's doing it right is Choo Choo TV. And you guys may know this channel from the Johnny Johnny meme that became really popular recently. But a little background on Choo Choo TV is that they are a large company from India that makes videos for infants and toddlers that are basically all about how to be a good person. They're mostly nursery rhymes that are altered or rewritten to have a more positive moral lesson. For example, this is a video with the classic Jack Be Nimble nursery rhyme. They show how cool and talented he is because he's so fast and can jump over candlesticks, but he's also a wonderful person. He loves to smile at people and cheer them up if they're feeling sad, and he even returns a wallet to a man who dropped it. The great thing about these videos is that they have a good lesson and that babies love them. They can't take their eyes off of them. And that's what's made Choo Choo TV so successful. How successful? Well, Sesame Street has 5 billion views on YouTube. Choo Choo TV has 19 billion views. And they gain 40,000 subscribers every day. That's insane for a company that started on YouTube and is only 5 years old. And they're an example of YouTube doing really great things for children. So there were lots of studies conducted after Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood aired on television because people were skeptical of if young children watching these shows would be detrimental to their health or their values. They actually found the exact opposite. The children who watched these shows had larger vocabularies, greater creativity, and less aggression. So children shows after this, like Dora and Blue's Clues, use Sesame Street and Mr. Roger as models. So screen viewing can be very beneficial for toddlers. Finally, Alexis Madrigal wrote an article in The Atlantic all about Choo Choo TV and babies, and he argues that YouTube as a company is not doing nearly enough to make YouTube a safe environment for children, and I completely agree with that. He says that YouTube has the power and the money to make some really positive changes, like raising awareness for families of the YouTube Kids app, or even restricting toddler videos to only be on the YouTube Kids app. But YouTube just isn't doing that. Did you know that there is a YouTube Kids app? Because I didn't. And it turns out it's not even in every country. Madrigal himself even did a little test where he watched a bunch of kid videos in a row, and not once did the website suggest moving to the YouTube Kids app. That's a simple change that YouTube can do, and they're just not. YouTube has the responsibility to make these changes. But since YouTube isn't making these changes, parents have the responsibility of monitoring what their kids watch on this website. Think about it. Most parents don't let their kids watch R-rated movies or TV channels like MTV, but those same parents will be letting their kids watch whatever they want on YouTube. Why does it have different standards? If you put the TV on for your kids and put it on TV channels like Disney or Nickelodeon, you can trust that the content on those channels are going to be safe and appropriate for your child. But right now, YouTube doesn't have these restrictions for you. That means we have to be extra careful when it comes to YouTube. You cannot trust that everything on YouTube is going to be appropriate for them, especially with very, very young children like infants and toddlers who are just soaking up everything that's being shown to them. Okay, I've said a lot today, I know, but my main point is that YouTube has a very strong effect on children. And that is always important to keep in mind, especially since more and more kids are spending a lot of time on YouTube. We need to all be careful with the kids in our lives when it comes to the content that they're watching on YouTube. If we see them watching a YouTuber that we have personal issues with, or if they watch a video that makes us feel a little uneasy, we need to do something about it. And YouTube needs to take responsibility and make some changes and make YouTube a safer environment, since they know now that a large part of their viewers are kids. So I hope you guys learned a lot today. I hope I made you think about things that maybe you never really thought about before. So remember to like and subscribe.